Oh, what is going on, everybody? Happy Friday to you all. Yes, I know. Holy shit, we're live on a fucking Friday. This is another live edition of Something About Dynamite here on the Around the Point Network YouTube channel. We're also live over on Twitch. We're also live over on Kick and all those other fun places. So if you are on those places as well, if you're also on those places, please hit the follow button, hit the subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up, share with all your friends all over social media. It is Friday the 13th, June 13th, 2025. And yes, like I just mentioned only moments ago, this is a special Friday edition of Something About Dynamite. Here to talk about everything that happened on the AEW Summer Blockbuster that went down this past Wednesday. And as always, what's going on, everyone? It's me, it's Steve. And normally, yes, this would normally be a watch along right on a Wednesday, but being that they decided to go once again another 4 hours, we were like, you know what, let's do a review, which we did this last week, and we're doing obviously this week. Next week, because they're in Mexico, it's going to be 2 hours and a half. We'll go back to our regular programming, which will be a regular review. But my bad, a regular watch along. My apologies, a regular watch along on Wednesday. All right, but we were supposed to go live yesterday with something about Dynamite, but StreamYard decided to act up. And because of that, we didn't want to really, touch StreamYard or anything about it. So, like, you know what? Let's move it for tomorrow, which is today. So here we are. But I hope all of you are having a good one. I hope all of you are looking forward to your weekends. I hope all of you are excited to celebrate Father's Day with all your fathers and uncles, grandfathers, whatever it may be. Or maybe you had a friend that's already a dad, and all that fun stuff. But yeah, let's get into the shall we? AEW Summer Blockbuster. Again, it was a 4.5 hour show. And I'm watching this, and I'll be honest, I'm reminded of why we do watch-alongs on Wednesdays now. We don't do weekly reviews, but nevertheless, there was some advancements in what's going to be happening at All In. And of course, they're hyping up the Grand Slam Mexico show, which is happening next week, live from Arena Mexico. And I would say this overall, I'm excited for that show. More for how the atmosphere is going to be like, because they are going to be at Arena Mexico, which is a cathedral for pro wrestling in Mexico. So I look forward to seeing how that's going to be, and what's the vibes going to be and all that fun stuff. I look forward to seeing that this coming Wednesday. And again, also factor in, it'll be a watch along too. So if you are a channel member, you can join us on the watch party this coming Wednesday. By the way, if you want to be a channel member, it's only $2.99 a month. Hit the join button, and you get all these perks that you see here on the screen. All right, so now you know. We do have a messenger. We have C Money here writing, with the hype surrounding this match and the physical state of both men, there's no way Omega versus Okada lives up to the billing. This is like Pacquiao versus Mayweather years after their primes. And people have said that, and I'll get into that in a little bit. C Money, so just stick around. I kind of said the same thing, similar, not to the comparison of Mayweather Pacquiao, but just stick around. I'll give my thoughts on that in a little bit. But I'll be honest, again, this was basically two shows consolidated into one. And once again, it went 4 hours. It had an overrun. A 4-hour show had a fucking overrun once again. Like the Dynamite portion, it was good for the most part. And then you had the Collision portion. And I'll be honest. Collision, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't feeling it. Once again, I just wasn't feeling Collision. Which is why, again,
hashtag AEW Collision. Saturday. Ain't nobody watching that. Come on.
I really wasn't feeling Collision. I really wasn't, for the most part. Especially that main event. Like, why was that closing the show? Why was this random as fucking 8-man tag match closing the show? Why the Paragon closing Collision? Holy shit. Like, we'll get into all that stuff. Again, guys, if you have questions for me, feel free to chime in with your questions and all that fun stuff. And let's get into the show. Let's get into the swing of things here. Again, this show did have the big contract signing. You guys know how I feel about contract signings. I hate them. I fucking do. We did start off the show here with people entering the arena. We saw Hangman Page talking to Christopher Daniels, who is trying to convince him of the advantages of collaborating with others in the locker room, even those who he may not prefer to assist. That being, obviously the likes of a Swerve Strickland. Because you guys know these two guys, they don't get along. These two guys, they can't stand each other, right? They both said they will not work together. But here we have Christopher Daniels, who we've not seen in a long time, right? The last time we saw him, he was having a big feud there. Remember he was cutting himself open by himself against Hangman Page there. So he told them that, hey, it's best if you work with others, even if you don't want to, and all that stuff. And out of nowhere, we see Hangman walking. We see Jon Moxley, who was spotted basically incognito, where he wore a black baseball cap, just chilling there, right? And then we see the Death Riders all like walking behind Hangman and shit. So makes you believe they're gonna jump him, they're gonna beat him up, they're gonna, put the hands on him. But we did get the opening match. We had Swerve Strickland versus Will Ospreay. This is the rematch from Forbidden Door that took place last summer. And if you guys already know, if we come to Forbidden Door, you guys already know if you haven't already.
Oh, wow, that's a fitting name for all the virgins out there, the Forbidden Door, because that's the one thing they'll never see.
Well, yeah. So I'll be honest, I thought this was probably the smartest way to open the show. Smart way, right? The crowd really looked into this, right? It was a nice jam-packed crowd. I believe they were live from the, let me see here. They were live from the Theater of the Clouds at the Mata Center in Portland, Oregon. Very small, intimate setting for the most part. The match itself, like, yo, look, you just knew these two guys were going to go out there and fucking deliver. I think to the point where Dave Meltzer gave this 5.25 stars. 5.25 stars. Because once again, it's Will Ospreay. Once again, it's a fucking Will Ospreay match. So, of course, he's going to do this. Be that as it may, look, I thought, was this as good as the Forbidden Door match? No. But it was still nevertheless a fucking good opener to kick off the show. There was a spot in the match where everyone thought Ospreay broke his nose, but he didn't, even though his nose is bleeding for the most part. There was also the spot where it looked like Ospreay was going for the Styles Clash, and Swerve countered it into the oh my goodness, the red eye, the dead eye, right? He countered into the dead eye. That Hangman did, and it's a callback. It's a callback to what Hangman did at Double or Nothing when he used Swerve's move on Ospreay. So it's like, all right, I saw you, homie, pretty much. But look, you kind of knew when the announcer was saying, oh, like 25 minutes have passed. You knew, like, going in, like, okay, something here has to give. Like, all right, we're going to go to a draw. And sure enough, it happened. And look, it makes sense, too. Like, you don't want to beat any of these guys. You don't, And what do you know? The match goes to a draw. Somewhere in this match, I think after Swerve was like, let's go sudden death, right? And then out came the Death Riders, right? The Death Riders came out, and they proceed to beat up on Will Ospreay. And then what do you know, man? The Young Bucks showed up and they handcuffed Swerve. They handcuffed them to the middle ropes. And then Wheeler Useless decided to toss a bag containing Swerve's custom sneakers, the one from Reebok, right? With thumbtacks on the bottom of them. And this was a callback to Anarchy in the Arena, if you guys remember. And they went to double super kick Hangman, my bad, Swerve Strickland. But instead, Will Ospreay dove in at the last second and took the hit. He took the bullet for Swerve Strickland. So what this shows me is that, hey, look, I know Swerve doesn't want to work with, basically, Swerve doesn't want to work with Hangman. He doesn't want to. But here's Will Ospreay taking this bullet, trying to show Swerve, hey, look, man, you just need to trust me. Of course, Romeo Sources says Steve was afraid of a 4-hour watch along 2 weeks in a row. Romeo Damas Select, the best free 99 in the business, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. But overall, I thought the match was great. It's on the list as well. What a surprise. Another Will Ospreay match on the fucking list. And again, we saw later on tonight, the question is, can Swerve and Hangman get along? Can they work together? Can they coexist? Right? And again, Osprey took a bullet for Swerve Strickland, just like I'm sure he would take one for Hangman. We find out early in the day that the Hurt Syndicate brutally attacked Commander backstage during which MJF was holding his mask, and the commentators noted that Máscara Dorada would take Commander's place in the 6-man tag later on in the night. So there was that. Universal, I am doing good, brother. How about yourself? It's been reported too that Commander is out with an injury, so this is a way to write him off. So speedy recovery to Commander. Speedy recovery. We then got Mystico versus Blake Christian. Yes, Mystico, the same one who's facing MJF at 1 second here. The same there you go. Let me get this out of the way here. I was testing some shit out earlier. So yes, the same, Mystico that's facing MJF at Grand Slam Mexico. Yes, he basically wrestled Blake Christian, and for the most part, look, the match didn't even go long. It was all right, just to showcase Mystico. He did get the win over Blake Christian, so there was that. After the match, obviously, MVP brought up MJF to confront Mystico. Even though MJF praised himself as the industry's most well-rounded wrestler and vowed to rip off his Dime Store mask at Grand Slam, Maxwell said that he still looked at him as a sloppy Sin Cara, which got a huge pop because for those of you who don't know, Mystico is basically the original Sin Cara. In case you guys don't know, right? That WWE tried to sign many years ago, and it just didn't work out for the most part. And Mystico then interrupted, challenging MJF to face him next week at Arena Mexico, which I've already showed the graphic. It is happening. And obviously MJF from there busted out the American flag. So he's going to be repping America. America, baby. America in Mexico. I'm not sure that's a good idea considering what's going on right now. But be that as it may, he basically then proceeded to knock him down with a punch that led the Hurt Syndicate to Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin to hit the ring. And just as MJF focused on taking Mystico's mask, because he was trying to take the mask, just like he did for Commander, Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight and Máscara Dorada ran to save Mystico, basically. So again, get some heat on this match coming up. Yes, he is a huge draw in Mexico. Huge draw, Universal. Absolutely. Big draw. So that should be a fun match next week. After this, we did get basically, look, the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, MJF, who is definitely dressed up in an MVP themed attire. They ended up beating Mike Bailey, Kevin Knight, and Commander for the most part. The match was okay. Nothing to really go crazy about. But again, you do want to also give, MJF some momentum, considering the fact that he is wrestling Commander next week. Just like you gave Commander some momentum early in his match with Blake Christian, right? So there was that. After the match, Lashley and Benjamin attacked Knight and Bailey, leaving MJF to remove Máscara Dorada's mask, right? He removed the mask and he paraded around the ring with it like a trophy, which we all know in Lucha Libre, right? In Lucha Libre, that is a sin. You don't do that. You don't take another man's mask off unless there's a mask versus mask match or something of that state. And obviously, after this, Mystico, charged the ring and locked in an armbar, forcing MJF to tap, and then the Hurt Syndicate rushed to MJF's aid as Mystico basically hauled ass and left, basically. So again, I look forward to seeing the match next week, seeing MJF, and again, just the visual, right, of him, America up, right? America the fuck up in Mexico. It's going to be very interesting, in my opinion. From there, we did get we did see we're gonna hear from Hangman Page, right? And his music was hitting, and then Claudio Wheeler Useless dragged him and bound and beaten basically to the ring, where Moxley and Marina Shafir waited, and Moxley warned Page to focus on their AEW title clash, stating that he has 4 weeks to step up or be eliminated. Page retaliated with a headbutt and narrowly dodged a chair shot attack before Samoa Joe, Shibata, Hobbs drove off the Death Riders, and Page vowed to hunt them down and fight for the title at any cost, even riding through death himself. Universal, you're not wrong. You are not wrong there, my friend. WCW all over again, Ray taking off the mask. I mean, to be fair, though, at least this time, someone took the mask off. It wasn't Ray by himself. So there's that. Look, I like the build here, I guess, for Hangman and Moxley here. Give them some heat, which is cool to see. I think all of us can agree that we're all cheering for Hangman Page. Like, please, bro, put an end to this. Please, just take the title. I know people still are. There's some people who are in the whole. It needs to be, Darby Allin. I mean, look, is he even down yet? But whatever, it is what it is. From there, we did get TJ, Anna Jay, and Ty Mello versus the team of Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. The same Megan Bayne who a month ago or so was challenging for the women's world title, and now here she is losing to Tay Mello and Anna Jay. Oh boy, what are we doing, AEW? What the fuck are we doing? Again, no one cared. Who gave a fuck, right? Just saying, no one cared. But we did get the big contract signing. You did get the big contract signing for the title unification match between Kazuchika Okada, who is the AEW Continental Champion, and Kenny by God Omega, who is the International Champion. And let me just say this, right? I liked the seriousness at first, right? They both signed their contracts, right? And again, if you notice when Kenny was coming out there was something in the middle that was basically, noticeable, right? Covered up. And it basically, you just knew, all right, it was a new title. And sure enough, Tony Schiavone announced that the winner will be now the new unified AEW champion. And that's the belt. It's a nice looking belt, I must say. I just hate the name. It just screams laziness. The unified champion. To my understanding, it's going to be up there with the world title. This company, and look, and I know people will say, oh, but so did WWE. Look, this company has way too many fucking titles. Way too many fucking titles. In my humble opinion. If you noted some of the side plates, one of them is Kenny Omega doing the one-winged angel, and the other one is Okada delivering the Rainmaker. That's basic. Look, I like the side plates. To my understanding, for now, they're going to be there to, commemorate the fact that it's Okada versus Omega. Yes, get rid of the FTW title. I think they did. I hope they did. Right? I guess so at this point too, right? Who cares? But yeah, I mean, the belt again, it's a nice looking belt. It's a nice looking belt. But I feel like, honestly, it just has a lazy fucking name, right? And look, I also noticed too, I don't know how many of you guys peeped this as well. I don't know how many of you like peeped like the thumbnail that we did for today, like for S.A.D. Like, if you notice, like I had Javier, like, look, man, just to bring it back, like What you see behind, Omega and Okada shaking hands from Dynamite, that is a picture from their Wrestle Kingdom 11 match in the background, if you notice it, right? Funny enough, AEW on their YouTube channel has uploaded a full match of Wrestle Kingdom 11. They've uploaded a full match, I believe, of Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. I believe so as well. And I think another match too. I don't remember, but they've uploaded these matches on their YouTube channel, which is cool, right? Especially uploading the first Kenny Omega Okada match from Wrestle Kingdom back in 2017. Because again, for those of you who probably never watched the match, you might have heard stories of the match, is your opportunity to watch and to see both of them at their peak when they were both like, oh my God, like doing this crazy ass fucking match. And it goes back to C Money's comment, right? With the hype surrounding this match and the physical state of both men, there's no way Omega versus Okada lives up to the billing. This is like Pacquiao versus Mayweather years after their primes. No, but you know what I do expect, though? And I said this last week. Me and Chase said this last week. They're going to go out there and play the hits. If you guys think, and I'm going to say this again, if you are under the impression that Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada in 2025 are going to go out there and tear it up like it's 2017, you are in for a rude awakening. It's going to be a good match. Don't get me wrong. But if you guys expect these two guys to do what they were doing back in 2017 in Tokyo Dome, that ain't happening. They're just going to go out there and play the hit. Look, both of these guys are carrying a lot of wear and tear in their bodies, bro. They're up there in age. And again, let's just hope for this match we get the Okada that cares, bro. That's all we're asking for too here, right? So it should be a good match, all right? But if you're expecting, the 2017, 2018, and by the way, they gave you guys a video package explaining the rivalry, right? The 3 matches that they had. I believe one of them was obviously Wrestle Kingdom, and 2 of them were also at Dominion. One of them was at the G1, and the other one was at Dominion. So there you go for the most part. So if you have not watched those matches, go give them a watch if you want to, relive the old days, if you will. So there was that. But after the match, after the contract signing, right? Don Callis interrupted, insisting that Konosuke Takeshita be included in this match. Omega dismissed him, but Okada suddenly attacked Omega with the Continental title, and Callis handed Okada a weapon to do further damage to Omega, leaving him bloodied. Yes, there's a moment, because again, they cut from Dynamite to Collision in the same stream, right? So you see Okada dropping these elbows on Omega, and even one to the outside because they brought out the stretch. They brought out the stretcher and all that stuff, right? And Omega's just chilling there, right? Omega's just chilling there on the stretcher. And Okada does a diving elbow. And I swear, bro, Kenny Omega decides to start bleeding from the mouth. And I get it. Diverticulitis. I get that. But just the blood job on this. Holy crap, bro. Just the blood that was gushing out. And it wasn't real blood and all that stuff. And I've seen amateur horror movies do a better job at selling the blood. Yeah, and I know it was blood capsules, but still, like, come on. He just went overboard with it. In my opinion. So I started laughing. Like, this was the most funniest shit I've seen, right? Probably the most funniest shit I have seen, right? Up to that point. Brother, for you, anything AEW does is legit. Te tienen cholito. Respectfully. That being said, moving on here, we did get right into Collision. And look, for a Dynamite episode, if we're just considering this as Dynamite, it was good. All right, cool. Can't wait for Mexico. But again, you forget, it's a 4-hour show. And it's like, at this point, bro, I'm like, you guys are lucky. Oh, here it is.
Fuck!
We proceed. We proceed. Por favor, oye. Bien cachoriano, ma, oye. Say, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We proceed to the collision portion. And again, you got Tony Schiavone and Nigel McGuinness, and they can't believe what happened. They can't believe what just happened, right? And what do you know? What do you know? We start off with the next match. We had Anthony Bowens and Kyle Fletcher, and you had Adam Cole on commentary. Adam on commentary, praising both guys, right? And look, I'll be honest with you. Anthony Bowen is labeled as the pride of wrestling. I think that's what they're calling him, the top tool player or whatever the hell it's called. And it's like, look, you just knew going into this, like, and mind you, for the match as a whole, it was okay. Nothing to go crazy about here. But it's like, bro, do we have to beat Anthony Bowens on Pride Month? Do we really need to beat Anthony Bowens on fucking Pride Month? Like, what are we doing? Can we throw him a bone? Can we throw him a fucking bone? I'm just saying, you know? But yes, Kyle Fletcher did get the win. And look, chances are Kyle Fletcher is gonna be the one to take that title off of Adam Cole. And if you notice too, I don't know how many of you guys go on social media. I don't know how many of you pay attention to small details. How many of you do? So if you go on the TNT's Twitter account, if you recall back in the day, bro, they would type in so-and-so is our champion, referring to the TNT champion. They used to do it back in the day with Cody Rhodes, with Mr. Brody Lee, rest in peace, Sammy Guevara, Miro, right? Daniel Garcia, right? The list goes on, right? The list goes on. If you go on their account right now, and I'm going to show this. I got here the evidencia. TNT drama. Look at this. Not even an acknowledgement of Adam Cole as our champion. That just tells me, like, yo, they don't give a fuck, bro. They don't give a fuck. They just don't. No love for Adam Cole. No fucking love for Adam Cole. What are we doing? What are we doing? Did you hear about Roman Reigns? They're saying this is his last year. Look, brother, whether it is or not, look, my man about to be in Hollywood, man. He's earned it. Adam Cole is FTW champion. Does that even exist? Bowen should be ROH champ, not an AEW. Why do they even have that? Which one? The FTW title? Didn't it retire? I could have sworn it retired already. Could have sworn. Now, if you're talking about the TNT title, well, you got to remember, they're pleasing, Warner Brothers. They're pleasing Warner Brothers Discovery. And if you realize, Dynamite and Collision, they're both on TNT and TBS. Well, Dynamite's on TBS, Collision's on TNT, right? So there you go. It's all Turner. It's all Ted Turner. Turner, damn it, Turner. God damn it. After this. A video package was highlighted of MJF's portrayal of an American hero character from his previous year. So there you go. That's going to be something. And again, like I said this earlier in this review. I look forward to seeing MJF showing up to Mexico with the red, white, and blue. Right? Like Colby Covington, it's like all he needs now, bro, is to call Mexicans of filthy animals and stuff like that, like Colby did for Brazil. That's all he needs to do. But, and especially in what's going on right now, it's gonna be crazy. I don't think Zaslav gives a damn about the TNT title. Yeah, pretty much. From here we did get former WWE broadcaster Carlos Cabrera promoting the AEW CMLL partnership before Grand Slam Mexico and introducing Lucha legend Atlantis and his son. And I will say this. I can understand why they had him be the one to do this because he's the one who speaks Spanish. I can understand him maybe having a knowledge of CMLL and all that stuff, right? But you can clearly tell Carlos Cabrera looked so uncomfortable. You can tell he looked so uncomfortable doing this because I've never once in my life watching him when he was doing commentary for WWE or anything like that, never once seen him conduct an interview. Never once. Funny enough, I met the man many years ago when I was working my retail job back when I was in high school. So he shows up with his wife. I believe that was his wife at the time. I could be wrong, whatever the case may be. And I'll never forget this. I see him, and I knew it was him, right? So he gets to my line. He gets close to the register. I'm like, por poquito! And he cracked up. And we talked for like a good probably 3 to 5 minutes as I was ringing him up and stuff like that. And very cool guy. Very cool dude. But outside of that, look, he just looked very uncomfortable. You know, you could just tell he was looking so uncomfortable. And it's funny enough, I asked him at the time, hey, is there any truth of P.D. Williams going to WWE? And he was like, no, but we have Evan Bourne. Funny enough, P.D. Williams now works for WWE as an agent or something. So there's that. But yeah, but back to this though, right? FTR and Stokely Hathaway interrupted, right? They interrupted what was going on here. And they were insulting Atlantis, his age, and boosting their own dominance. As tensions rose and a brawl broke out, Adam Cole had to intervene. He had to get involved. And still, the Don Callis family escalated the situation until Mystico Bandito, Brody King arrived to level the playing field. And after a brawl, Atlantis triumphed by taking down Hardwood and pursuing him into the crowd while the Luchadors maintained momentum heading into Mexico. And I think because of all this, if memory, sometimes it can act up on me. Let me just say that right now. If I got this right, next week, we are getting this next week. So we are getting this next week in Mexico. You're going to get Bandito, who is the Ring of Honor World Champion, Templario, Atlantis Jr., Adam Cole, Brody King, Daniel Garcia, teaming up to take on the team of Hechicero, a.k.a. Enrique, Protoshida, that being, Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita, who, by the way, the same Konosuke Takeshita, who will be appearing in the G1, FTR, and Josh Alexander. So there you go. You think that's crazy? You're getting a 12-man tag, and then you're also getting a 10-man tag next week in Mexico. Because fuck it, why not? Fuck it, why not? Why not? Why not? What's going on, Alan? What is going on? The working man. What is going on? How are you? How you been, Steve? Are you ready for a long tag match next week on S.A.D? Don't remind me, Alan. We're cooked. We're cooked. But for the most part, again, it was one of those things where, look, hype up the match, what have you. So there you go. And Lexi Nair is backstage, and she was talking to Brian Keith and Big Bill. They talk about their recent successes, and they want more competition and are interrupted by the returning workhorsemen of JD Drake and Anthony Henry. This is the only time you'll see them, because after this, I guarantee you, they're going to go right into Ring of Honor. Guaranteed. From there, we saw Timeless Tony Storm going up against Julia Hart. I'll be honest. I would have taken this as the main event on the Collision portion than what the fuck they gave us at the end of the show. If you want my humble opinion. And not because it was this amazing match. No. Because at least, you know what? There's a title match happening at All In between Mercedes Moné and Timeless Toni Storm. At least you could have closed with that. You had Mercedes Moné celebrating with the fucking title, right? But no, we didn't get that. What we did get, though, is Mercedes Moné once again eating another steak, right? She's eating her steak. And I'll say that the steak looked better here than it did last week, I must say. Looking forward to MJ versus Sloppy Sin Cara. Me too, Alan. Weston, bro, Toni Storm versus Stephanie have occurred to face each other. 2K, buddy. 2K25. Christopher Leclerc, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue deserve better. I agree. And look, the match itself, I'll be honest, it was just there. I'll be honest, I didn't care for it. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know there's a lot of you who like Julia Hart. And look, I'm sure she's a nice person, but she just doesn't convince me as a wrestler. She doesn't. I'm not convinced. She hit this terrible moonsault. But you knew going into this that, yeah, Timeless Toni Storm was going to get the W. And the fact that this match went over the fact that this literally took over 7 minutes, 7 minutes and 55 seconds. The fact that it took almost a Julia, what the fuck? The fact that it took Toni Storm over 5 minutes to beat her. What are we doing? What are we doing? And then after this, obviously, Mercedes and Toni Storm had the little face-off. And after that, she attacked Mercedes Moné. How about Mercedes Moné attacked Toni Storm. And then out came Mina Shirakawa. And then Mina Shirakawa got attacked. But in case you guys didn't know as well, there's a possibility that Mercedes Moné might have another title her way real soon. Because on Grand Slam Mexico, it will be Mercedes Moné going up against Zexius. If I butcher the name, I apologize, okay? For the CMLL Women's Championship. I know people are expecting Moné to win this title too. I just don't see it happening. I think Toni Storm gets involved here. That's what I see happening. But hey, at least we get to see Mercedes win another belt before she takes the AEW Women's title. Power Rangers X, I got some bad news, brother. She's gonna be there. She's gonna be there. Yeah, I know you can call it clown show all you want, but she'll be there. She'll be there. Sadly. Steve, how do you think Moné is doing in AEW? She's selling tickets. She's getting higher ratings. Is she getting high ratings, high segments? I'll be honest. I feel like, when you buy something new, right? Look, she's talented. I'm not taking that away from her. But when you buy something new, when you buy it fresh out of the packet, it has that new smell, right? It's worn off. It's worn off. They've booked her to be this undefeated woman, right? She hasn't lost a match, right? Except that match for New Japan Strong, without because of an injury, right? Against Willow Nightingale. She lost her New Japan Strong, but she didn't get pinned. But so far, they're booking her strong. Tony Khan, that is literally his highest paid athlete on the roster right now. So you're gonna treat her, so again, Tony Khan's gonna treat her like it's a big fucking deal. Well, what the fuck does this even mean? Well, we don't clown makeup on her, dude. What the fuck does that even mean? What the fuck is this, bro? Well, we don't clown makeup on her, dude. What the fuck? Western Retro. AEW needs a needle mover. If they outbid WWE, maybe they can buy Joe Henry. That's not happening. Sky Blues should beat Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship. Yeah, on Fight Forever. On Fight Forever, Christopher. Say no, I'm kidding. But who knows, right? Who fucking knows? From there, let's see here. We did get obviously Ricochet. We did get obviously Ricochet backstage, and he was trying to he's talking about, hey, I want to, form this new group, right? I want to get this new group. And basically you see Blake Christian, right, and Lee Johnson trying to, shoot their shot. Hey, I want to be part of this group, right? The same, Blake Christian who moments ago, early in the show, lost to Mystico in less than 5 minutes. Yeah. Let that sink in for a second. Let that sink in. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Like, yeah, bro, you're trying to join this group, but you just lost moments ago, but you're trying to shoot your shot. Like, yeah, buddy, good luck with that. Good luck with that. It's so fucking hilarious. It's so fucking hilarious. But basically, Ricochet roasted Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. And like, nah. So there you go. We did get the conglomeration of Mark Briscoe, Tomohiro Ishii, Willow Nightingale going up against MXM collection of Mason Maiden and Mansoor and Taya Valkyrie. I have not seen Taya Valkyrie in a hot minute. Have not seen her in a fucking hot minute. So, yeah, cool to see her again. But going into this, for the most part, again, this is where the show just dragged, bro. This is where Collision just, for me, just dragged. Did not care at all. But obviously, Mark Briscoe, Tomohiro Ishii, and Willow Nightingale, they did pick up the win. So there was that for the most part. So, yeah, that was cool. And then we see footage backstage, basically, where you see Chris Statlander watching from a TV screen backstage, right? She's leaving, right? Because in her mind, Willow has moved on from her, so she's moving on. And then we see Wheeler Useless, trying to confront Chris Statlander and telling her to not focus on Willow and offering comfort ear if she needs anything. But she wasn't trying to hear that. And then we see the stare off between Chris Statlander and obviously Marina Shafir. Is it like Wheeler Useless trying to recruit Chris Statlander? There's history there, I guess, but I don't know. Like, to me, it's whatever. We did get Bandito versus the Beast Mortos non-title match. I thought this was fun for the most part. Just a good back and forth, and as you can expect, Bandito did pick up the win. There was a spot where both Bandito and Morton were on the top rope, and Bandito hit the fallaway slam for the 1-2-3. So obviously Bandito did get the win. So that was good to see. Happy 54th birthday to Mark Henry. Happy birthday, Mark Henry. Happy birthday. And from there, we did see obviously backstage the confrontation where Xyuxis will face Mercedes Moné. I talked about it moments ago, but she was there and she's literally forearmed Mercedes Moné. So could we be seeing a new CMLL Women's Champion? Maybe so. After this, we did see Hangman approaching Renee Paquette backstage, and he asked for an update on Strickland. They eventually got interrupted by Matthew Jackson and Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks, and they tried to claim that they've done everything they're doing for Hangman. And Hangman clarifies that he wants nothing to do with them. And he tells them to stay out of Ospreay's and Strickland's business. If next time he has to burn down a house, he'll make sure that both the Bucks are in the house. And you notice as all this is happening, right? Prince Nana is hearing all this. You see his head poke out of the door, hearing all this. So then when all this ends, you see Nana going into the trainer's room where Ospreay's laying there, right? Bleeding up and beat up and shit. Remember, he took a bullet for Swerve Strickland. And Nana asked, Balk, did you hear all that? And Swerve's like, sure did. So who knows? Like, maybe this is a way that we finally get to see Hangman and Swerve finally unite. Because we know what's probably happening at All In. It's going to be most likely the Bucks versus Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. But if the objective is to get rid of the Death Riders, you need everyone on the same page. No pun intended. So let's see if this works. I believe it will, but we'll see. From there, we got Tekla versus Queen Aminata. And look, it wasn't a bad match for the most part, okay? But I'll be honest. How do you want me to care about your newest signing when she's wrestling 30 minutes or so of the fourth hour? Why are we putting her this late in the fucking program? Why are we having her wrestle Queen Aminata? And look, Queen Aminata is not a bad performer. What I'm trying to say is, can we still just feed Tekla some tomato cans on the roster that you're not going to fucking use to rack up some wins and then eventually start beating those that you have signed that you probably going to want to do something with in the long run? But obviously, Tekla did get the win. She did make Queen Aminata submit, right? And I don't know if y'all noticed, but once the submission was off, like once she let go of the hold, right? You literally see Queen Aminata roll out of the ring and walk away like nothing fucking happened. No sold it. And look who's joining me now, ladies and gentlemen, joining me right now. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the CEO, the president of All Elite Wrestling. He is the two-time Wrestling Observer Booker of the Year. He's also the man in charge of Fulham and, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's your friend, our friend, the one, the only, the great Mr. Tony Khan. Tony, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Steve, why are you reviewing the show 2 days late? This is ridiculous. You want to do this for Paul's show, I'll tell you that.
Well, aren't you happy that at least we're reviewing the show?
Yeah, you're reviewing the show, but...
Oh, wait a minute. There
Why
you go.
Why you kick me out of the show, Steve? What kind of chop shop are you running here?
Well, I don't know if you were aware or not, but StreamYard has been acting up these last couple of days. So what can I tell you, man?
You're making up excuses, whatever.
Hey, no, there's no excuses here, buddy.
Well, that's what it is. It just feels like a bunch of excuses that are going on right now here on the Around the Point Network.
Of course, but Mr. Khan, how have you been? How excited are you to go to Mexico? How excited are you?
I'm excited. I'm excited, Steve, and it's going to be what you like to troll me on and saying it's going to be a jam-packed house in Mexico. We sold out those tickets really quickly. We actually had to open up more sections just so that way we can get all the AEW fans and CMLL fans in the building, and I'm really excited about what we have produced for Grand Slam Mexico and what we have produced for All In, and no Goldberg is going to stop us from having the biggest show in Texas.
Yes, Universal. That's right. He is here. Funny but awkward. Very awkward.
Universal. I'm excited for Jurassic World. That's going to be a good movie.
Okay. That's cool, I guess. But Mr. Khan, look, man, I'll say this: the Mexico show looks very, very interesting. I can't wait to do a watch along with the boys.
Are you going to do a watch along? I don't think you're going to do a watch along. To be honest, Steve, I think you're just going to be doing a bunch of. Those are some great matches that we got going on there. Mercedes Moné versus Zexius for the CMLL Women's Championship. Can she become Mercedes 6-belt Moné? It's going to be interesting. A bunch of great tag team matches that are going on. A 10-man tag, a 12-man tag. And MJF taking on. Why are you laughing, Steve? I'm trying to promote the show. Why are you laughing at the show? This is a great show. This is a great card. And did you not see Mark Briscoe calling out Kazuchika Okada to this event, too? So it's going to be he's taking it really personally what happened to Kenny Omega.
I'm sure he did. Jurassic World, huh? By Universal.
Oh, the thing is, it's Universal Studios, your name. It just popped up. It just popped up in my head. And so that's why I was saying, I'm excited for Jurassic World. Because Universal,
He didn't say Superman. So.
Oh, well, Superman has a lot of synergy with Max. And no, Steve, I do not want to talk about what's going on with Warner Brothers Discovery. So don't even ask.
Don't
But yeah,
worry. Don't worry. No
Superman has
question.
a lot of synergy with Max and everything. So that movie looks good too. I like James Gunn. He normally has some really killer tracks on his movies.
Alan writes here, hey, Mr. Khan, what is going on with WBD? Are y'all still going to be on TV after?
I really just said I don't want to talk about it. You guys are such trolls in the chat. Like, yeah, thanks for asking.
There you go. Thanks for that. In other words, he doesn't want to talk about it, guy. Come on, guys. It's not every day that, look, Tony Khan, you got to understand something right now. If I may, Mr. Khan. Tony Khan has taken the time out of his precious Friday afternoon. He has a big event happening.
A lot of things going on.
Exactly. He's taking the time out of his his precious day to come chat with us here. Just like Paul would, if he had a busy day, I'm sure he has a show in a couple of hours. But nevertheless, guys, be nice to our investors. Be nice, y'all. Be nice.
Well, I'm no longer an investor. I'm just some guest that comes on. You forget that Patrick Mahomes owns most of the Around the Point network, Steve.
Nah, but we're continuing to get him, Mr. Khan. But you know,
there's no gimmick.
You were the first investor. You were the first one. At least
sadly, and I invested in a wrong product. That's for sure.
Mr. Khan, that wasn't nice. Oh, come on, Mr. Khan. Come on. But also, Bill, since you're here, what was your thoughts on the Tekla versus Queen Aminata match, Mr. Khan?
I thought it was a great showcase for Tekla, the Joshi killer. She's going out there and she's doing what really led her to a lot of success in stardom. And I'm very excited with what we have with her and all the other women in the AEW women's roster with the return of Ty Mello. And then we also have Anna Jay, Megan Bain, Penelope Ford, Sky Blue, Julia Hart. I mean, Willow Nightingale re-signed. We have Chris Statlander. We have a lot of great women, and I feel like she can mix up with a lot of these great women inside the AEW roster. And I'm just excited for all the matchups that are just possible. Mina Shayakira, we just signed too. So yeah, we got a lot of great women on the roster.
For sure, absolutely. Hey, look, Alan got another question, Mr. Khan, if it's okay with you. Hey, Mr. Khan, how do you feel about what a Impact Hunter is going to make this football season?
Oh, well, Alan, he's making such an impact. Did you guys see, Steve, did you know in the new Madden game, they made a whole position just for Travis Hunter?
Oh, really? Interesting. I did not know this.
So you know what Travis Hunter does, Steve? Do you know what Travis Hunter does?
I believe he is a football player, right? Obviously.
Yeah. He's not just any football player. He's a football player that won the Heisman Trophy for the Colorado Buffaloes, and he won it playing wide receiver and cornerback the whole time. He played both positions, both sides of the ball, and we're one of the few teams that believe in his athleticism and his technique that he could do that for us at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, I cannot wait to see what's going to happen. It should be a very interesting season, Mr. Khan.
You should buy his jersey.
One step at a time.
You're a Jaguars fan. You don't have any other team.
I'm more of a Real Madrid fan. I'd rather wear a Fulham jersey.
We're talking about American football, Steve, not football.
Well, I'm surprised Fulham in the Club World Cup. After all, they're going to be the Club World Cup is going to be here. Literally starts tomorrow, here in the good old U.S. of A. By the way, I must say too, Mr. Khan, I did like the collaboration you guys did with the Portland Timbers over this past week. Very good, very very cool to see, Mr. Khan.
Do you even know what the Portland Timbers are, Steve?
They are a soccer team, obviously, Mr. Khan.
Yeah,
MLS, Major League Soccer. Come on,
Mr. Universal. Khan. We have Trevor Lawrence, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. What are you talking about?
Oh.
At first, I thought we found someone normal in the chat, and now, of course, it's another troll that wants to troll good old Tony Khan for no reason. I come on here, and it's always people saying, "Oh, you're making their little snide remarks." It's okay.
Of course not, Mr. Khan. Of course not. But now that you're here, I want to get your thoughts. I don't know if you've been following what's been going on here with the whole Pat Mahomes and Tyrese Halliburton drama that's been going on. They're gonna go at it in a War Games match. What's your thoughts on that, Mr. Khan? I think we lost Mr. Khan, y'all. Oh my goodness. I think we lost him. No, can't be. This can't be, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully he does come back. I don't know what's going on. There's some connection issue, but it's okay. I know he's a busy man. He again had a lot going on right now. But oh, come on. Oh, it's Universal. Thank goodness he's not here right now. How do you feel about losing on Stephanie? Oh, come on. Let's get to the main event, shall we? The Don Callis family, Konosuke Takeshita, Josh Alexander, Lance Archer, Hechicero versus the Paragon of Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly. And of course, I think they also had Daniel Garcia in this match. And look, Tony Khan is back. Mr. Khan, is that you?
Why'd you kick me out of the call, Steve? I was answering your question. You kicked me out.
Well, it was on your end, Mr. Khan. It's on your end.
My end has 6G, Steve. You're on like 3G internet still or something.
Never that. But Mr. Khan, before that whole internet issue happened, what's your thoughts on what's been going on with Tyrese Halliburton and of course Pat Mahomes? They're gonna have a War Games match soon. Your thoughts?
Well, isn't Tyrese Halliburton in the NBA Finals? Why is he worried about Pat Mahomes?
I don't know. I don't know if you've been following, but Tyrese Halliburton made a slab remark on Pat Mahomes' wife, and Pat Mahomes took it personal.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So.
And I see that comment by Universal. What kind of comment is that? I didn't lose out on any of them.
Well, I didn't want to, show the comment.
Well, Steve, I know how to read the comments. You hit the chat tab, and then there's comments right there, and then it's right there. So, but I didn't lose out on any of them. We weren't targeting Julia whatsoever. And Stephanie Kerr, she chose her choice. Like, we gave her the most money possible, Universal. I don't know what more do you want me to say.
Yeah, there's no lie there, Mr. Khan.
We didn't lose out.
You guys got Tekla.
Yeah, we got Tekla. We got Willa Nightingale re-signed. We have Chris Statlander on a good deal. I don't know.
You're renewed to Willow, and real soon you're gonna have Camille starting on American Gladiators. Speaking of Mahomes, what happened to our match? Why is he ducking the greatest TNT champion on ATP Gaming?
I think he said that you weren't worth his time, from what I understand.
Oh, come on.
Well, Alan, if you want to defend that TNT title, I'm free.
You, Mr. Khan? You
Yeah,
want to
man.
lace up the boots? Okay.
I'm already have a character in the game. What are you talking about, Steve?
Okay, I suppose I got to talk to, I'm sure Pat Mahomes would love that idea. And so would the booking committee. I'm sure they would love that idea. Tony Khan getting a shot at the TNT title. And hopefully by then, TNT Drama will update their Twitter profile, their Twitter bio. Tony Khan is our champion.
Yeah.
Which they have not been doing, by the way. I don't know if you noticed or not, but
Steve, I have not noticed. Thanks for asking.
Okay. But yes, it is official. I see the graphic here. Sadly, it is official. It will be obviously Mark Briscoe versus Kazuchika Okada.
See, you can't even get the wrestlers right. Are you even watching the show, Steve?
I'm sorry. I'm excited for Mexico. I'm excited. Look at that. Kazuchika Okada versus Mark Briscoe.
A reminder, folks, is a special 2.5 hour event. So it's going to be going for 2 hours and 30 minutes with an overrun if needed.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Let's fucking go.
I don't like that video because the mic is not how my voice sounds. They make my voice sound so deep. That's not how my voice sounds at all.
Well, look, I don't have control. I didn't have control on that. That's when it was.
Yeah, I talked to the AEW people about it. And hey, speaking of which, what a hypocrite that guy in the video is, huh?
Well, I guess so.
I'm just saying that maybe I should have not said that. We did sign some stuff to not talk about each other, but.
Well, thank you for mentioning that, Mr. Khan. Thank you for mentioning that because 30 minutes overrun on a Wednesday. What the fuck, TK?
It's a deal we worked out with Warner. Don't worry about it.
Yes, Tony, I have heard the Wardlow is not working in Hollywood and that he is medically cleared. Why is he not back?
Oh, well, that's a great question, Universal. And I'm here to tell you, we like Wardlow here in AEW. He's one of our homegrown stars, and right now he has a role in American America. What were you saying right there, Steve? I was answering the question.
Former TNT champion.
No, you were saying something else. It did not sound like that's what you were mouthing with your big old mouth.
I said former TNT champion.
Well, you know what? I refuse to believe that. But anyways, we do like him, and right now he's doing a role in American Gladiators, and we'll see once he's done with that role in American Gladiators, and we'll work from there with Wardlow.
Hosted by The Miz.
Well, yes, Mike Bizan can host the show, Steve.
That's what's up. That is what's up. But yeah, where was I here? Well, since you mentioned that other guy you didn't want to mention, but you did bring him up. In case you guys have not checked out as well, the Raw Rundown this past Tuesday. Where of course, big shout out to Javier for that graphic. I had to become a monster to stop the monster. And if you've not checked out Steve's Kitchen this past Monday,
where's any of the AEW wrestlers?
What do you mean? You have a former world women's champion right here, and
thanks for asking, Steve.
Blake Monroe.
Thanks for asking.
And we talked about the whole situation regarding the future of Max and AEW, how you guys will end up as TNT Sports, and Another question from Al in the work. Hey, Mr. Khan, who would you like to see take the AEW title off Mox, Hangman or Darby?
Well, Alan, I'm going to say you just have to watch AEW every week to see what road I'll take you for this journey. So thanks for asking.
In other words, enjoy the ride Mr. Khan is taking you on. He wants you to enjoy the ride.
Well, I didn't say that, Steve. Don't twist my words.
I got a question for you, Mr. Khan. I know you're also big into MMA. Who do you got tomorrow between Joaquin Buckley and Kamaru Usman? Who do you got tomorrow?
Oh man, that's a big fight. I've seen Usman do some crazy things here in Jacksonville, and he's one of my favorite fighters. But he's a lot older now, and I heard he can't even walk unless he walks backwards down the stairs. That's crazy. So I'm gonna go with the young buck, Joaquin
Buckley. Okay. That's what's up. That is what's up. I like that. But again, guys, if you guys have a question for Mr. Khan here, I know he's on a busy schedule right now. I know he's about to in a couple of days take that flight, get on the private jet to Mexico. He's excited. And who knows? Maybe Mr. Khan. Who knows? Maybe. But with the success of all this, with the success of Grand Slam Mexico, Arena Mexico, could you potentially see in the future a Forbidden Door in Arena Mexico?
Well, that's a great question, Steve. And I would love to force a Forbidden Door in Arena Mexico. I think it would be a great environment. It would be something that the fans of Mexico would appreciate, but also a destination for many of those across the world.
Exactly. And everything out there, half off price. You can live like a king. With like $20, you live like a king out there. Just saying.
Are you trying to say the Mexicans are poor, Steve? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, just through my experience when I went to Cancun a couple of years ago. It was great. TK all in Texas in a couple of weeks away. Why is the build of your biggest show, no lie, feeling like a little mid?
Oh, please. You guys just saw the middest of mid builds, as a kid would say mid. I don't really like using that word, to be honest with you. It's kind of rude. But you guys just saw what happened with WrestleMania and All
What do you
In.
mean? Oh, come on, Mr. Khan.
You guys did. You guys did. I feel we're building up a really great show. We have 3 highlight matches that people are all excited for. And there's great debate online for all 3 matches to main event the pay-per-view.
Well, Mr. Khan, why do you gotta take us?
I'm not taking a shot. I'm stating an observation.
You should be thankful Mr. Levesque isn't here right now, because he might have Hey, Mr. Khan, how do you feel about people
Why are
saying
you
that
why are you
Logan
missing
Paul?
Universal's question? You're not reading all the
Alan, right?
questions.
Alan, right
Steve,
there.
how many gummies do you have today?
Not one yet. I'm about to get some. About to go to the pharmacy in a little bit here. Hey, Mr. Khan, how do you feel about people saying that Logan Paul has a better buckshot than Hangman Page?
I want to say Logan Paul is a very incredible athlete, and I heard he got injured, so best of luck on his recovery. But he's no Hangman out of
Yeah, me
Page when
too.
it comes to the buckshot lariat.
I know, Mr. Khan. You know what? We can agree on one thing. We both wish a speedy recovery to the Maverick, yo. Speedy recovery could be the
Yeah,
biggest comeback.
my business does better when he's on WWE TV. So yeah,
Tony is from Universal. Is Chris Jericho still under contract with AEW? I heard his contract is over and that you guys are negotiating exclusive.
Universal. That's a great question, and thanks for asking.
Okay. Here you go. Mr. Con.
No,
Mr.
you
Chief,
missed another question that he had to. You missed one from Cheap earlier. There we go. Thank you.
Tony, is it true that now have some bookers backstage and who are not the EVPs?
And Universal, that's a great question. And yes, I do have a lot of people that are not EVPs who are also bookers for AEW. We have a great booking team in AEW filled with former wrestling legends and also great wrestling minds that help produce some of the great stuff you see on TV. Like RJ City is another guy that does a lot of stuff great for AEW. And we have, well, why are you making a sound effect? RJ City is great. Let me finish talking.
What's
And
his
we
name?
also have Scotty Too Hottie. He helps out with the writing in AEW. We have a lot of great talent behind the scenes that help out AEW and produce some of the best wrestling you guys see and the best storylines.
I think that was more for Scotty Too Hottie, but hey, it is what it is. Let's see here. We got more comments here from you guys. Thank you for chiming in here. Chief writes here. What do you mean, TK? Mania was epic. The internet just haters.
Yeah, sure.
This is from Universe. Tony, is Jack Perry suspended again? Is he medically cleared? Thanks for
Jack
asking.
Perry is medically cleared, and I will say, just keep watching. He may show up sooner rather than later. You never know with Jack Perry. He's a guy. He beats to his own drum. He's one of those guys that I have a lot of respect and admiration for. He's a very creative soul, and sometimes we disagree on things, and that's what happens sometimes when you work with great creative talent like a Jack Perry who has a great mind for this business and just in general in life. He's a very interesting guy. If you ever talk to him, you might learn like 3 new things a day talking to Jack Perry. That's what I like to say. So I would like to say Jack Perry and I right now, maybe there's a little bit of a difference of what we want to do with each other creatively, but I have a lot of respect and admiration for him, and I hope he's doing well. But yes, he is great, and we'll make sure, hopefully, one day get him back on AEW television.
Well, there you go. Here you go. This is a question here from Alan the Working Man, a channel member here. Tony, are you planning anything for Mania Week in Vegas next year?
That's a great question. Thanks for asking.
In other words, maybe.
No, there's no other words. I just said that's a great question. Thanks for asking. He can ask. Does not mean I have to answer.
Steve, I'd rather have this Tony Khan than this is the real Tony Khan. What are you talking about?
Look, I don't have to go through AEW PR or anything because Steve only gets like 8 views a video, so it's okay. I can come on here, no problem, and I don't have to worry about any aggregations or dirt sheets or sources. I can come on here and answer your guys' questions and talk to you guys about the great company that is AEW, All Elite Wrestling. We're the best wrestle and entertain every single one of you guys every single Wednesday and Saturday, and sometimes Thursday nights, and sometimes on Sundays on pay-per-view.
Oh, look at this. This is a question from Chief Mr. Khan here. Mr. Khan, what's your thoughts on the success Penta has had? Who knew that mask or would sell like hotcakes?
All right. And this is a stupid question.
What do you mean?
Stupid question.
Come on, Mr. Khan, be nice. Come on.
No, this is ridiculous. First of all, congrats to Penta. Glad he's doing well. I hope his family's happy.
About Ray Phoenix. What about him? Did he get congratulations?
Thanks for asking, Steve.
Oh, come on. Come on.
What?
But
I said
continue.
thanks for asking about that guy. I don't want to talk about him. I'll talk about Penta. He left on. He also snaked me too, but it's okay.
I got a question for Mr. Khan. How do you feel about Konosuke Takeshita, the Alpha, appearing once again in the G1? How do you
Is
feel
that
about
confirmed?
it? Well, yeah, New Japan confirmed it
When? When did they confirm this?
on their, I guess, on their social media page.
I didn't see anything about that. What the hell?
What do you mean? What the hell? I thought they would have told you.
Well, I had plans with Takesha, and now I don't have these plans no more.
What do you mean? Don't you know that he has not only an AEW contract, but a DDT contract, but also a New Japan contract?
Yeah, they did New Japan contracts because of AEW.
Oh no, no.
Wait,
Like
Steve, pull up whatever you've seen because I don't. What?
Okay, no problem. Just give me a sec here, Mr. Khan. Just give me a sec here. This is from this is literally 19 hours ago from New Japan. Mind you, I'm putting an English translation here.
Well, Steve, I can't see.
Well, 1 second here. I'm trying to.
Ridiculous, man. This was always happens to me. They don't communicate everything. First with Kevin the Jet Knight, and now this bullshit.
What about Nick Wayne?
Well, I allowed Nick to go.
Yeah, this is again from New Japan's Twitter. Unless you can read Japanese, my man.
No, I better go talk to Rocky. I better go talk to Rocky about this because I ain't whatever.
But look at it. They even got the graphic. You might want to tell New Japan start using the new AEW logo. I must say. Look at that.
Why are they using the old logo?
You better go talk to New Japan on that. You better go talk to Rocky to talk to President Tanahashi. Yeah, but yeah, according to the source of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, you know those guys. He'll be gone from July 18th until August 17th.
I know how long he's gonna be gone, Steve. It just ruins a lot of plans that I had.
But aren't you excited though? Representation in the G1. Who knows? Maybe he'll go all the way. Might want to put down a parlay. Mr.
Is there any
Khan.
other questions?
Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. This is from Universal. Mr. Khan, why are you upset with Britt Baker? Do you really want her to go to WWE too?
I don't think I ever said I was upset with Britt Baker. And in fact, I appreciate and admire Britt so much. He is one of those people that really, really is one of the heartbeats of all elite wrestling and what she brings to the table.
The what? The what?
Heartbeats.
Oh, okay. Heartbeats. I'm sorry. I had an audio
issue. Clean your ears.
No, just an audio issue. My apologies, Mr. Khan. Proceed. And also a day one, an OG of AEW.
She's very important to AEW, and sometimes, like I mentioned with Jack Perry earlier, there's sometimes conflicts in creative process, creative decisions, and sometimes you just got to weather the storm. But I would love Britt Baker back, and whenever we are able to find and land a deal on her, she'll be back on All Elite Wrestling television soon.
There you go. You heard it there first, guys. You heard it there first. This is from Chief here. Mr. Khan, is Fight Forever 2 in the works? Maybe we get some New Japan stars in there this time. And maybe some CMLL, maybe some Ref Pro.
There's not going to be a Fight Forever 2.
Oh, maybe the mobile game? The mobile?
There's not going to be a Fight Forever 2. Next question.
Okay. Alan the work. Hey, Mr. Khan, how do you feel about WWE trying to counter program you guys? He talked about this on a couple of weeks ago. He talked about
it's honestly pathetic how much they really want to try to take us down, and they don't want to admit that we're competition, even though their last few stars are all because of AEW. Cody Rhodes, AEW. I can't really say his name because we signed an NDA, but I'll just say
the man from Chicago.
Yeah, the Second City Saint, who revived his career, AEW, Jade, AEW, Penta, AEW, Penta's brother, AEW. I mean,
Penta's. What do you mean, Penta's brother? Just say the name.
Said what I said. I said Penta's brother.
Mariah May.
Yeah, AEW. I mean, Ricky, AEW. List goes on and on how much we provided them with great talent, and vice versa. They provided us with some awesome talent as well, with Ricochet, but and Swerve. But it just goes to show that if they just admitted that we're rivals, I'd be fine with it. But they always play dirty and they're trying to take us down. And all it's hurting really is their NXT brand, and it's hurting their champion Obafemi, who's doing great work as champion. But you wouldn't know because they always counter program the AEW shows with the NXT. No, Steve, let me finish. Let me finish. You wouldn't know because his matches are being watered down because you can't watch them because you're watching the great action of AEW instead of watching NXT.
That's crazy enough, I don't know, but did you see the rating for NXT this week?
Thanks for asking, Steve.
Okay. Oh, Chief may be onto something here. Yo, Universal, Triple H, he's very pro WWE.
No, I think Universal just asking very tough questions, and some questions I'll answer, and some questions I won't answer, and stuff. But he's not trolling me like everyone else does, especially you, Chief. You've trolled me plenty of times in the chat, and it's really annoyed me.
He's not like CPZ now. At least
Yeah, we can't answer CPZ questions. He's banned.
Wait, no. What do you mean he's banned? Come on, now he's not banned.
Yeah, I banned him with my moderator powers.
Some would say he's the Armor King, but that's no here or there. Universal Tony, I heard you are engaged now. Did she set a date yet?
Well, that's a great personal question, and thanks for asking.
There you go, guys.
Why is there a bad picture up, Steve? Can I get a good picture?
What do you mean? Oh, darn it. Sorry. I told Javier to get rid of this picture. I'm sorry, Mr. Khan. There you go. That better?
Much better. Thank you.
Okay. How about this one? That one good too?
I really like that one, especially with the Reebok Brody Lees up there. It's really cool.
And you got the coffee cup in there. Maybe there's water in there for all we know. I know. Oh, look, maybe we got another question. Maybe I have another question from Alan the Working Man. Hey, Mr. Khan, are you going to put an all-woman pay-per-view like WWE, but do it better? Great question. Thanks for asking.
It's something that's in the works.
Oh, okay. Something that's in the works. Okay, guys, you heard it here first. You heard it here. Something that's in the works. Some Stardom women, some women from CMLL.
I'm just saying we're not going to put on an event just to show that we're progressive.
Some women from the Ring of Honor brand, some women from Rev Pro, some women from, we'll see. Time will tell. Guys, again, and Mr. Khan's on a very limited schedule here, but if you guys have, how about this, Mr. Khan? How about the next final 4 questions? Is that okay with you?
That's fine. I'll do 4 more questions.
4 more questions, guys. Make them count. And Mr. Khan has a busy schedule. It's a busy schedule, and we also got to close shop for the week. So there you go.
You even talk about the main event.
We were talking about it. We had, again, the main event, which I'll be honest, I would have switched this with the women's segment between Toni Storm and Julia Hart, because at least then you would have Mercedes Moné showcase with the women's title, right? And that is your big women's title match for All In. That's just my humble opinion, of course. But yes, we did have the Don Callis family of Konosuke Takeshita, who's going to be going to the G1 soon. Josh Alexander, who I'm surprised not in the G1. Lance Archer, Hechicero, going up against the Paragon and Daniel Garcia. It was, I'll be honest, it was all right. Nothing to really go crazy here, other than the fact that Josh Alexander did pick up the win for his team, hitting a German suplex. So there was that. Mr. Khan, how are you feeling about upcoming the Jacksonville Jaguar season?
I was confused at first when I saw it. I'm like, who's Jax? Like Ajax? Like
Jackson Chain? The Jackson's chains? I don't know. Maybe you bought those. Maybe you bought that jewelry company, Mr. Khan. Who knows? Maybe you did.
Well, it's going to be one of the best seasons of all time.
There you go. You guys gonna go all the way?
That's always the plan, Steve.
Okay. Universal rights here, Tony. Women's tag titles. When?
That's a great question, Universal. And it's something that, people have been pitching and suggesting to me. And it's something that if it makes sense, I will do it. I do not want to create titles just for the sake of creating titles. Like a lot of people will think that I'll just do this, but there has to be a method and a reasoning to creating the AEW Women's Championships and Tag Team Championships. And do I feel I have the roster of women that really want to compete for those women's tag team titles? I just don't want creating belts just for the sake of creating belts. People say I do it all the time, but now that we're losing two titles to form the beautiful new AEW Unified Championship, maybe it's something that we can consider down the line. It's something that AEW will consider as maybe the AEW Women's Tag titles. If we have plenty of women that want to tag and want to work together and want to make that division a great division, I'll be open for it.
I must say, nice looking belt. I'm just not feeling the name. I do like the side place, though. I do like that. I must say.
Well, it's going to be another world title in AEW's great history of world championships.
Okay. Now, I think this will be the last question. This is from Alan, the working man.
Oh, we have two more questions.
You'll ask two more extra. Okay, you'll ask two more. Hey, Tony, do you think Okada versus Omega will be the match of the year this year?
I think it's going to be one of the best wrestling matches you'll ever see in your life. Like, if you guys have not purchased All In yet, I suggest you guys buy All In today. And I mean today. I'm not lying. Buy it today. And if you're in Texas and you're not attending All In, what are you doing? You are going to be missing what could be the greatest wrestling match you've ever seen.
One thing AEW does right, they make great looking belts.
Thank you, Chief.
You see that? Chief's writing a good comment, Mr. Khan.
He's still trolling. He still has trolley questions, but thank you.
Okay, Tony, I'm one of those that would argue that AEW has too many titles. I want a TV title defended every week. What do you think about that?
That's a great question. And I don't think we have too many titles. I think a lot of fans just say that as part of discourse here to just spread a lot of misinformation about All Elite Wrestling. I just think it's a lot of discourse being spread by the fans. And I'm here to tell you, man, we produce some of the best championships. And, the TNT championship, if you actually pay attention to Collision Universal, it's been defended on there almost every week by Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia before him. So I suggest maybe checking out Collision on Saturdays if that's what you want, is a TV championship to be defended every single week. It almost gets defended there almost all the time. And we always do championship eliminators so that way we can be able to provide great entertainment for the fans. But Universal, I'm here to tell you that, we do have ideas for a lot of championships, and sometimes those ideas don't always get approved, or those ideas fall by the wayside, but we always will keep them in our back pocket if needed.
There you go. Well, there you go. I think Mr. Khan has time for one more question, guys.
You know what my favorite belt was? I love the X Division title. That was a cool belt back in the day.
Which version? The original one?
No, I'm just talking about the X Division.
I know, but there's many versions.
No, I'm just talking about the whole division, Steve.
Okay. Who was your favorite X Division talent of all time?
Man, I gotta go with my man CD, Christopher Daniels.
Okay. So you were a fan of that rival between AJ and Christopher Daniels. Okay. I'm sure the best match of all time was Unbreakable 2005. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest matches of all time.
Okay. Tony, I'm one of those. Okay.
You already had you had a gummy. You lied to me. You definitely had a gummy.
Gun? What a gun? What do you mean? What?
A gummy. A gummy.
Gummy. Oh, not yet. I gotta go to the dispensary in a little bit. Hey, Mr. Khan, will you do any more Battle of the Belt shows? That's a good question to wrap up with.
That's a great question, Alan. And I would say stay tuned to your local TV broadcasting stations. It's up to TBS and TNT. When do you want to perform these really great performing Battle of the Belt shows?
There you go. There you guys go. Then, Mr. Khan, I want to thank you for your time. I know it's been a busy week. It's gonna be even crazier this coming Wednesday as AEW, the great, amazing talent of All Elite Wrestling and Ring of Honor, travel all the way to Ciudad de Mexico for AEW Grand Slam. Just to show you guys the card real quick, you have MJF versus Mystico. That should be a very, very good match. And who knows, MJF showing up in the red, white, and blue, waving that U.S. flag in Mexico. That's going to be crazy. You also have the 12-man tag of Bandito, Templario, Atlantis Jr., Adam Cole, Brody King, Daniel Garcia against the team of Hechicero, Protesta, that being Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher, and FTR and Josh Alexander. You have the CMLL Women's World Champion defending her title, that being Zexia, defending the title against the TBS champion Mercedes Moné. You also have the 4 million pesos high-flying four-way. The winner of this match will receive 4 million pesos. And if you're wondering how much is that in US dollars, that is $211,592. And of course, you also will have the Death Riders and the Young Bucks of Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Useless, the Young Bucks of Matthew and Nicholas Jackson going up against the team of the Ops of Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and oh my goodness, freaking hell, Katsuyori Shibata and Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. And also it was added to, it was Mark Briscoe versus Okada as well. 4 million pesos, them boys eating good down in Mexico for sure. Yeah, but Tony Khan is gone now, boys. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Much love to all of you. Again, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. All right. I will say this real quick. What I want to do, this is for channel members. If you're a channel member, this will be up your alley. So I know a lot of y'all have been talking about throwbacks. We should do a throwback and all that stuff. You know, with this whole thing of with the news of Okada and Omega happening at All In real soon, it's literally 29 days from now. I am decided to do a throwback and rewatch the very first Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada match from Wrestle Kingdom 11. Either most likely Sunday night. And if you are a channel member, you can join me and watch the show with me live. All right. So be on the lookout for that. I'll give you guys more updates on Twitter, which, by the way, you can follow me at Heel Steven, or if not, follow the Around the Point Network over on AT Point Network. But I want to get that done most likely on Sunday night, something like that. A throwback watch along, rewatching the very first Okada Omega match from Wrestle Kingdom 11. All right. So that is the plan. All right. If you're a channel member, you get to join me and watch live as it happens on the stream. And if you want to be a channel member, hit that join button. It's only $2.99 a month. You get all these perks that you see on the screen. Much love to Tony Khan for joining us here as well. Follow me on X at Heel Steven. If you've not checked out the other content on the channel, on Tuesday, I went live for the Raw Rundown where CM Punk is going to Saudi Arabia. And where he says, I have to become a monster to stop the monster. And on Monday on Steve's Kitchen, myself and Chase, we were live. We talked about everything that happened at Worlds Collide and also Money in the Bank, or Ron Killings now is back, and of course Mariah May now going as Blake Monroe. I'll talk about that new name change this Monday on Kitchen. All right, but there you go. Go give all those videos a watch whenever you get a chance. Thank you all for watching. Much love to all of you. For myself, for Mr. Khan, for the gang, this has been Something About Dynamite here on the Around the Point Network. Peace out, y'all.
Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
And for old time's sake,
No Millie.